Hi, everyone, and welcome to the holiday edition of Coach's Corner. This will be our final show for 2011. We won't have an updated Coach's Corner show until after the new year because of the Christmas holiday break for the students, teachers, and the student athletes. But we wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We're going to talk basketball on our final show of 2011 with Coach Hibler and Coach Winburn as the Ponca City basketball teams wrap up the pre-Christmas part of their schedule. Both teams are 3-5, and both teams will get things going after the holiday, after the new year, with the ADA basketball tournament. Coach 3-5 lost a couple of games to Lawton and Lawton Eisenhower this past weekend, and let's go through those games first of all. You knew those are some of the best teams in the state, some of the best teams you'll see all season long.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Lawton Ike is a top 8 team. I think they're ranked number 6 right now. They've got a Division I prospect who's being recruited by the likes of Texas Tech, OU, and things like that. Just a very, very talented team. Most of those kids are seniors on that team, so they played last year. So a wealth of experience and just a great program. And Bruce Harrington, the head coach there, they've been a really good program for a number of years, and they continue to be so. And then Lawton, Lawton is Lawton. Been in the state semifinals the last 2 years in football. A lot of those kids are basketball players. They just do a tremendous job with their athleticism against you, as far as picking you up in the full court and making it hard to get shots off. And they're a handful to deal with.
I'm not sure, Coach, you'll see better teams than what you just saw this past weekend all season long.
Well, there's not many in 6A. I mean, on a given night, these guys can beat anybody in Class 6A. Number 1 to whatever number, because they just got that type of athletes. I mean, they've got kids that play up above the rim. A great example. We run an ISO play, our first play of the game, and the 6'9" kid that I don't know where he's going. He comes from the weak side and pins the ball at the top of the square. And with that kind of athleticism, it's hard to get shots off. I mean, it's not only hard for us. I mean, this Lawton Ike team beat Edmond Memorial just the other day, who was number 1 in the state in 6A. So it's always a handful, especially when you go down there and you got them on their home floor and they've got some student bodies there, and they just get after you.
That's a tough call because you always see both sides of playing games like that. First of all, it's a game that probably you're going to come out of and look back upon. Well, your team's going to probably improve, even though you don't win the ball game. You're going to find some aspect of your team which is going to be better than it was before you played that game.
Well, we did a really good job against both teams of handling the basketball and not turning the basketball over. We had 11 turnovers against Lawton Ike. We had 12 turnovers against Lawton. And, we can't simulate that athleticism and that quickness in practice, so it's really good to play against that. I mean, that was a really positive outcome of the game because, I mean, the pressure they put on us was extraordinary. The thing that we really struggled with was, shooting the basketball against them. I mean, it was hard to get open looks against them because their recovery time was so quick and things. And, both teams really limited our shooting percentage. And, to beat good teams like that, you have to shoot the basketball well. And we didn't shoot the basketball well in either game.
You're 3-5 right now, but if we realistically look at what has happened to your team, and I know you'd like to be 8-0, everybody. Here's what's going on. You play Bishop McGuinness, and in Class 5A, they may be the state champion. You play 2 Lawton teams, which you yourself said either one of them could beat anybody in the state on any given night. And I know that down at the tournament, I can't think of the team we played right off the bat, but we played a real fine ball club in the first round of the Hara basketball tournament too. So legitimately, of your 8 games, 4 of those games were played against teams which you would consider state championship caliber ball clubs.
Well, the team you're forgetting is Mustang, and of course they played the game to go to the state tournament last year. I mean, all 4 programs are very well established and have been good for a number of years, and we played pretty well against all 4 of them, actually. We just haven't shot the ball very good. And to compete with those teams, like I said earlier, you've got to shoot the basketball good. I mean, we can limit our turnovers and things, but if the basketball doesn't go in the hoop, it's really hard to compete with those teams. And that's one of the things we're going to have to do, as we go through the stretch part of the season, starting here in January is, we've got to make some shots. We're going to make some tweaks to our offense and, see if we can't get a little higher percentage shots and, maybe slow the basketball down just a little bit and kind of limit the other team's offensive opportunities. But, it's something I think we can do because our kids do a really good job of handling the basketball and taking care of the basketball. And our turnover to assist margin has been good all year, and I think it will continue to be good.
There's a couple of real good things that have happened. You have to be pleased, though, that you thought some of these guys that hadn't played at that level could play, and now they can. Talking about some of your inside guys, Robert Nanny and Cole Nemo and Kyle Carpy, guys that just hadn't had to do that or done it before. You kind of know they can play at that level, and I know that you've said many times you still like this team and you like the way that they handle themselves on the court, the way they blend together too.
Well, I mean, this team has good chemistry, Phil. I mean, they, our assist ratio to our basket ratio has been very good throughout the year, and it continues to be good. It was good even in the two losses at Lawton Ike and Lawton. And, all five of the kids can handle the ball a little bit. We've had 4 different leading scorers at different games this year. We played 8 games, and we've had 4 different leading scorers. Brent Wilson's led us in scoring. Robert Nanny's led us in scoring before. Kyle Carpy's led us in scoring. Cole Hibler's led us in scoring. So, we've got a lot of versatility. And, hopefully, it's still really early in the year with the football players. And, I mean, our rotation is about 7 to 8 players, and 6 of those 8, 5 of those 7 all came from football. So, they'll get a lot better over this Christmas break because they'll get basically a week and a half straight in the gym where, we're just able to work and things, and we'll be able to fine-tune some things because, it was a really quick turnaround from the time football ended till we started playing our first basketball games, and it's kind of a learn on the go process. But we'll be able to get in the gym during this Christmas break. We'll give them we'll practice today and tomorrow, and then we'll give them 6 days off and come back on the 27th. So we'll give from the 27th to January the 4th before we go play another game on January the 5th. So that'll be a lot of quality time in the gym where we don't have other distractions going on. We don't have to worry about kids studying for tests during the break, homework, and different things like that. We're not going to school, so we'll be able to get a lot of quality time in the gym and hopefully, begin to piece this thing together.
Yeah, we don't play until January the 5th, so 2.5 weeks, and it's time of year where you don't get to practice very much because you play so many games. But all coaches would agree you need practice time. You can't do much when you have game, practice, game. You can't get what you need to accomplish in that one practice.
Well, it's really hard to correct correctable mistakes when you're, just on the practice floor one day. We've been through a stretch here where we played 3 games in a row, then we played 2 games in a row. Very first of the season, we played 2 games in a row. And, as we as coaches go through and break down the film with our plus-minus system that we use, we see these mistakes and things, but, we're trying to correct them by, walking them through it just by talking to them at the next day because we can't have a full-blown practice because we've got to turn around and play that night. And, it's really tough in that situation. Every basketball team goes through it. And things, some of them are a little more fortunate because maybe they didn't get very many players from football, so they're kind of ahead of the curve. But, this was a year where a lot of our kids were football players and came into the gym after football season was over. So it was really a quick turnaround before we started playing. It seems like we play, maybe a couple days of practice, then play 2 or 3 times in a row again.
Merry Christmas. I know that you got your Christmas present because your mom and dad get to come to watch their grandson and your son play, and you get to see them a lot this time of year too. So that's a pretty good Christmas present.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's one of the benefits of being here in Ponca City.
Yeah.
They're close and everything, and as they're both in retirement, as they get up there in age, it's nice to be home, close enough to home that you can go see them.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you after the first year or two.
Same to you. Thank you, Phil.
Alan Hibler, boys basketball coach on Coach's Corner.